Hi, thanks for joining me on Witness with the Monty. Got the day off today. I figured I'd just come out and mess around in the eastern Truckee. And this is probably going to be one of the last times I come out here until it gets cold again. Because it's going to start warming up and I'm really not into battling this brush and this river and rattlesnakes once it gets hot. I'd rather just go up into the mountains when the snow starts melting. But we're going to go fish here today and I'm going to see if I can't get something good in the net. I fished the Truckee in California for Wilderness with the Monty Patreon. The flow was way up and it got really windy. The biggest hurdle was myself. I didn't set an alarm and I didn't get out there till 9 in the morning, so the wind started howling in like within an hour after I hiked up the river. So I got out here nice and early. It's not even 7 a.m. yet. And I'm at the East Mustang Bridge and I want to hike 2 miles to the bridge, the footbridge in the middle between here and the McCarran Ranch Trail. If you come in from the McCarran Ranch Trailhead off Patrick, it's a 3-mile hike to that bridge. But I'm going to start from here. There's not that many great fishing opportunities on this side until I get to the bridge, but my focus is to fish the bridge. I figure I'm going to fish a couple of these spots by the East Mustang Bridge, and then I'm just going to hard charge it the rest of the way to the footbridge in the middle, and then I'm going to fish that whole area on both sides. So let's get to it, and let's go see if I can't get something decent into the net. All of the river east of the Mustang Bridge is single, barbless, artificial only. And I am using barbless marabou jigs. What a surprise. I haven't really seen the water yet. The water in California was crystal clear. It was just raging. And I got a nice brown, but once that wind got up, it got really hard to deal with the wind, just because when the water's really rushing like that, you really need to have control of your jig, and the wind was just blowing my line everywhere. But I got that brown early, so I was good. So the water's nice and clear. It's really high. So I don't know. As long as it's clear though, that's fine. All of the brush they cleared is growing back with a vengeance, which sucks. Because it was really nice for a little bit. I got this big, thick stand of brush behind me, so my only casting I can do here is flip casting. And I can throw it all the way to the middle of the river with that little backhand snap. So it's not ideal, but it's enough. If you park on the other side, you can drive a lot closer to that footbridge in the middle and park and then hike from there. There's also more exposed fishing spots. But my goal is to go fish the boulders around the footbridge, and with the water this high, I'm not sure I'd be able to pass the last section before the bridge out there has a steep wall, and that with the water this high. So if there's a chance I'm gonna get cut off, even if it's a slight chance, I'd rather just go the longer way and know I can get there 100% from this side. I gotta get down this. I mean, this is good water for certain things. It's not great for jigs. I do catch fish and stuff like this quite often, but the reason I like to go down to the footbridge is the boulders down there, and that's where I usually do the best, is when there's some kind of boulders that the fish will be up next to or in that area. So my jig shoots through the opening. They just see it and they have to respond. The river's gonna be raging down there, but you gotta play the game on the field that's in front of you. I just put a sharp stick all the way through my boots, straight through the dry side. I just can't believe that just happened, man. I may have wasted too much time. It's already starting to get a little breezy, and I spent all that time over there in water that usually isn't that good for me. So by the time I get to the boulders, it's gonna get windy and I'm not gonna have the accuracy I need to do what I need to do in the boulder section. That's the story of my life. My planning is just horrid. And we're on the McCarran Ranch Preserve. This is the McCarran Ranch Preserve Trail. And the other trailhead is off the Patrick exit down there. And you can pretty much hike and fish this whole 5-6 mile stretch of river, but you just gotta walk it. The river won't come to you and you can't drive to it, so it is what it is. I like it though. I can't believe I hooked this fish. Of course I haven't got, whoa, he's jumping all over. I can't have him jumping like that, man. I threw it over the sandbar where the main river is. I'm not even in the main river right now. And I'm trying to keep his head down right now. I don't want this fish jumping, because with barbless jigs, jumping is the kiss of death. He's jumped twice already. I switched to this Shimano. It's a $20 Shimano. They sell at Walmart and they're really good. There he is. He's not ready yet though. I got a good hook set in his jaw. I can see the jig, but no, let me get him over here. Let me get him out of that current, man. Get him out of that current. Get him out of that current and into the net. Woo! Oh, look at the hook. I was so close to losing him. Look at where it is, that barbless hook. Right in the flesh on the edge of his mouth. And I was getting mad at myself because I said I was gonna hike straight to the bridge, and I've stopped multiple times and then the wind started blowing and I'm like, I've done it to myself. But now it feels like I was right. I was right to stop. It's only, you know, it's time management and calls you make. That's all it is. Look at him swimming in the net. I got him right in the current, just getting strong again. Look at him. Look at him go. He's ready to go back in the river. Look at him. All right, let me get my hands wet. Let me hold this boy up and I'll show you where I got him. That's a healthy brown trout right there. Nice, big, strong brown. Get him back in the water. Looks like that's about the same size as the one I got in the California Truckee yesterday. So the main river's over there. I was just fishing this side thing. It's usually really shallow, but since the river's up so high, I figured, you know, it looks really good even though it's featureless. But when I got to here, there's a sandbar separating the main river, and it's right in between those, and it's only like a couple inches deep right there. And I whipped my jig just far enough to get to the other side of that, and that fish must have been hanging right there, because when I brought the jig over the sandbar, I saw his wake chasing it. And that's why I always try to have that full thing of line, and I just whipped it right over that sandbar, and he was right there, and it was money, baby. I just got another hit. I saw him flash. The fish looked smaller, but I'm just a little bit farther down, and there's another sandbar separating coming off that island, and I cast into the side of that. There's a fish right there. Whenever I see a sandbar like that, I always want to try to get both sides of it, because there's a lot of times there's fish just sitting on that. I don't think this fish will hit again. He got a good chunk of that jig, and when they get a good chunk of the jig, you're pretty much done. Now I'm going straight to the bridge. Or maybe not, I don't know. The river is high when there's water running through this little side canal. That's when you know you're dealing with it. I got no fish in that spot, so now I gotta walk the plank. My pirate is horrible. I realize that. My walk the plank. Ah, shiver me timbers. You know, I really gotta stop. I gotta stop with my poor, horrible pirate impression. One. Oh, he got off. He got off. He came right out of that rock pile right there. He was a nice fish too. I saw him. I was skipping my jig right over that shallow rock pile. And he came right out and nailed it. It was a big brown. It was about the same size as that one I got already. And that's why I went on this side. That's the wall right there. And it looks like it's pretty cut off. Usually you can walk right along the water, but the river's so high. Maybe you could make it over there, but I'm glad I'm not over there because I got a big wide path. That's what I need. The reason I came out here now is because I don't want to rip through this brush when there's rattlesnakes all over the place. That's never a good time. Well, a few hours after I started out, I'm finally at the footbridge that I was gonna hike straight to. I would have been here 2 hours ago if I would have just not kept stopping, but if I didn't stop, I wouldn't have got that fish. So I'm gonna go hike a little bit past it and do some fishing. I hooked that one fish in the boulders, and that's all I saw. Look how wide the Truckee is, man. It is flowing. And I caught a big brown under this bridge, but it's a tough bridge to fish because it's so deep on the other side. And I hooked a big rainbow on the other side, a big brown on this side. I think both of those are on my river fishing playlist. The big brown, the title of the video is Site Cleanup in Big Brown. Because I cleaned up a bunch of trash here before I fished. And then one of the guys that works out at the amphitheater or lives out here, he told me if I pick up trash, he would pick up the bags if I left them on the bridge. And it worked out. I picked up like 5 bags of trash and he got them. I had one big brown chase my jig right. I was taking it right up that soft stuff on the side. He came right after it. So I sat down, ate a sandwich, drank some water. I'm going right back downstream. And then I'm going to try to get it right back in that zone. He was right around there. And he's nowhere to be seen. That fish was right there a minute ago. I was bringing it along the rocks on the side, and he just came right up and just splashed. It was just splash. Oh, I've had so many big browns flash. I just had to edit out some foul language. Oh, I barely got him. He's a big one though. And I saw this guy come up, and then he just wasn't going for it. I just kept casting. I barely got him. Got him in the net. Woo! Wait till you see this fish. Oh, the jig's already in the net, out of the fish, barbless. He's frisking around. He's too big for the net, really. That thing followed my jig right up. He must have been deep because he came up and just exploded on it. All right, this guy's been well rested. He's a heavy fish, man. This one's just fat, man. Look at that brown. That is a big brown, boy. Look at his big hook jaw. That is a nice fish. Woo! Get him back in there. Oh, I had already quit. I saw my conclusion. And I'm glad I went down there. That's a steep climb to get down to that spot. And I was walking by and I'm like, I don't want to go down there, man. I was looking at how steep it was. I'm tired. I've been hiking for miles. And then I got to right here. I looked down. I'm like, yeah, there's kind of steps. Glad I went. Oh, man. Woo. Man, I got through the whole day on one jig. That's always good. But before I hooked that fish, I was so frustrated. I had 3 nice browns swipe at my jig, but one of them, I sat there for 20 minutes and it was right down there. And I sat there and I cast it like 5 or 6 times where I'd bring it in and it would swipe at it, but it was like intentionally missing it. It was almost like if that brown could have given me the finger while it swiped at it just to let me know how it felt. It would have been perfect. And it was just, it would swipe at it and then it would follow the jig right up to where I was and I'd jig it up and down and the thing would just not take my jig. I was snapping. It almost ruined my day. But that thing 5 minutes ago was fantastic. I got another 2 miles to hike until I get back to the car. I hiked a good 6 miles today, round trip, and all the hiking I did above the bridge. And I went to the other side too, so got some exercise in, got some browns in, all was good. It's not so hot, there's rattlesnakes in the bushes. I'm going home and counting this as a win. Scoreboard. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.